Alicia de la Cour Venning. She's a postdoctoral research fellow from Queen Mary University in London with a focus on human rights in Myanmar. And she's joining us from Ubud in Bali. Alicia, good to have you with us. So just tell us, how do you think that these protests are different from previous uprisings?
Right. I mean, the demonstrators are highly diverse, as we've seen in the clip, for example, in terms of gender, ethnicity, and religion. And they're incredibly creative in the resources that they're employing within this resistance, from art, technology, music, dance, and humor. And another thing that's particularly unique here is the visibility of women, particularly young women. Not necessarily their involvement. Women are often at the forefront of resistance, but within this movement, they're highly vocal and visible, and they're taking on key leadership roles in terms of organizing demonstrations. Factory workers, most of whom are women, for example, initiated a general strike in Yangon a few days after the military coup, which catalyzed broader protests across the country. And will this diversity make a difference? Well, I certainly think we owe it to the immensely resilient people of Myanmar, who know very well what they're up against here, to say yes, it will. And many argue, in fact, it already has. What is unprecedented here is the degree of solidarity that this particular military coup has triggered. We're seeing people across ethnic and religious lines consolidate to a degree that we haven't previously seen before. And the other thing that we mustn't forget, of course, is that for the people of Myanmar, this is a generational struggle building on resistance movements of the past, and with significant potential to nurture the growth of more inclusive politics going forward.
And as you rightly mentioned, it is a generational thing. This is a very different protest movement from 1988 and from 2007. And I wonder if it's the sense of sort of strength from visibility that these protesters have. We're in an internet age where everyone has a camera on their smartphone. Is it that sense of security that if the military starts shooting at them, they'll record it and the world will see instantly what their military has done to them, that gives them strength to go out every day?
Yeah, perhaps this could be one of the key factors within this resistance. But I think also, as I mentioned, the people are really familiar with this military dictatorship and the type of repressive means that it uses. And I think, yeah, again, what's important to point out is that really the shift here, and we're seeing something much bigger than what we've seen in the past, support for Aung San Suu Kyi, for example, and the National League for Democracy. And so I think many inside Myanmar here are really wanting to make this point, that they simply will not stick with the status quo, highly centralized, highly militarized politics. Many felt let down, for example, by Suu Kyi and her government, that, under her watch, violence intensified in Rakhine, Northern Shan, Kachin states, and she defended the Tatmadaw at The Hague against allegations of genocide and war crimes. She was also pushing through a deeply flawed peace process that was not addressing the long-standing political grievances held by Myanmar's ethnic minority peoples. And so I think really there is this sense here that there is a chance for real shift that involves a decentralization of power and the removal of the military from politics.
Okay, Alicia de la Cour Venning, thank you for that analysis.